Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're taking a deep dive into something pretty interesting.
Yeah.
The XERXES app.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got a ton of information to sift through.
Oh, yeah, we do.
Reviews, user feedback, marketing materials.
Comparisons.
Yeah, comparisons even.
Mm-hmm.
So we really want to get to the bottom
What's
of
at the bottom?
what XERXES can and
Can't do.
can't do.
Right.
And, what are its strengths?
Right.
What are its weaknesses? What you need to know before you even think about using it. So
Well, it's pretty amazing how XERXES is used. I mean, it's marketed as a parental control app.
Right.
But it can also be used to monitor employees.
On company devices.
On company devices, yeah.
So
it's like
two birds, one stone.
Two birds, one app.
Yeah. Exactly.
Interesting. And we're talking about some pretty powerful monitoring capabilities here.
This is...
So basically, XERXES kind of like lives on a phone.
Discreetly, and it's constantly tracking and uploading
all that data?
Data to a dashboard that you can then access
At any time.
At any time.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So we're talking...
Yeah, so
calls,
texts,
social media.
Browsing history.
Even
keystrokes.
Keystrokes, yeah, it's all there.
That's a lot.
It is.
So this is compatible with both
Android and iOS
devices.
But there's a catch to really unleash the full power of XERXES.
Okay.
It does require some technical know-how.
Okay.
You have to root your Android.
Okay.
Or jailbreak your iPhone.
Okay, hold on. Root and jailbreak.
Yeah.
Those are terms.
Those are terms I think everybody has heard.
Yeah, but like what?
Well, maybe they don't exactly know.
Yeah, what do they actually mean?
So think of it like, you know how your phone had like built-in safety measures?
Okay.
Think of it like a toy car with a speed limit.
Rooting or jailbreaking is essentially removing that speed limit.
Okay.
Giving you, the user, much more control over the device.
Okay.
But just like removing the speed limit on a car,
right,
it could make things a little riskier.
Yeah, that's a good analogy.
Yeah.
Okay, so more power, more responsibility.
More responsibility, exactly.
All right, so let's say we've got XERXES up and running.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of its standout features? Like, what really makes this thing shine?
One of the biggest draws is the social media monitoring.
Okay.
I mean, XERXES goes way beyond just seeing what your child or employee is posting publicly. We're talking about private chats.
Okay.
Shared media, even deleted messages.
What?
Yeah. Imagine being able to see cyberbullying happening in real time.
That's deep.
That's the kind of access that XERXES provides.
That's a little unnerving.
Yeah, a little bit.
But I can see how it would be appealing for sure.
Of course, for safety reasons, right?
Yeah. Okay, so what else?
What else? Well, location tracking is another huge one.
Location tracking, okay.
XERXES uses GPS to pinpoint the device's location in real time.
Real time.
Real time. You can see where they are on a map.
Wow.
And it also keeps a log of their location history, so you can see where they've been.
So it's like a breadcrumb trail.
It is like a breadcrumb trail.
Okay, so peace of mind for parents who worry about their kids wandering off.
Exactly.
And I guess a way for employers to
make sure their employees are
where they're supposed to be.
Right on their routes, doing the deliveries, whatever.
Interesting. And you mentioned something called
geofencing.
Geofencing.
Yeah.
What is that?
So let's say you want to make sure your child stays within the school grounds during the day.
Okay.
You can set up a virtual boundary around the school.
A virtual fence.
A virtual fence, and you'll get an alert if their phone leaves that area.
So their phone can't escape.
Their phone can't escape unless they leave it at school.
Well, that's pretty clever. But it is kind of scary at the same time.
It does raise questions.
Yeah.
But the balance between safety and trust.
It does.
But that's a conversation for another time.
Yeah, we'll definitely explore that.
We will.
More.
But we're not done with the features yet.
Oh, there's more.
There's more.
Okay.
XERXES also gives you detailed logs of calls and texts.
Okay.
Including timestamps.
Okay.
Contact details.
So you know exactly
who they're talking to.
Who they're talking to.
When they're talking to them.
Okay.
It's all right there.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you can really see why this app is getting so much attention.
Right.
But let's be real. No app is perfect.
No app is perfect.
What are some of the things that
might make you think twice?
Yeah, what are the shortcomings?
Okay, well, we already talked about the rooting and jailbreaking.
Right.
Which can be kind of a technical hurdle.
Yeah. And
And there's some risk involved.
Right. Yeah.
And what about data security?
Yeah.
Is that
a concern?
Yeah, I mean...
Unfortunately, yes. XERXES has had a couple of data breaches in the past. There was a big one in 2015 and another one in 2018.
So that's a little concerning.
It is.
It makes you wonder about how
seriously they take protecting user data.
Okay, so privacy is definitely a valid concern here.
Yeah.
What else falls into the not-so-good category?
Well, the web filtering is not as advanced as it could be.
Okay.
You can block specific websites.
Okay.
But you can't block entire categories of content.
Like what?
Like gambling or adult sites.
Right.
Some other apps allow you to do that.
So if you're looking for a super strict approach to content control...
Yeah, XERXES might not.
It might fall short.
Yeah. Okay, what else?
Another thing it can't do is manage screen time or app usage. You can see how much time is being spent on different apps. But you can't set limits or block certain apps.
Okay, so for parents dealing with screen time battles or employers worried about
productivity,
right. That's kind of a big deal.
It is.
Okay, and what about the price?
Yes, the price.
Yeah.
No free trial.
Okay.
And the plans can be pretty expensive.
Especially if you have...
multiple devices.
Multiple devices, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there's a lot to consider here.
There is.
Pros and cons, for sure.
Pros and cons.
But let's see what actual users are saying about their experience with XERXES.
Let's look at those user reviews.
Yeah, let's dive into that.
It's pretty remarkable how much positive feedback there is.
Really?
You see reviews like, great service, excellent customer service.
Okay.
The app does absolutely everything.
Wow.
Works great.
Okay.
It's overwhelmingly positive.
So XERXES have a lot of happy customers.
It seems that way.
But let's be fair. Every story has two sides.
Of course.
Were there any less than glowing reviews?
Well, no, software is perfect.
Right.
So, of course, there were some complaints.
Okay, like what?
Some people said things like, not all functions work, or seems like a lot of bugs with the app lately.
Okay, so even with all that praise, there are still some users who are running into
issues.
Yeah, what kind of problems were they reporting?
Some mentioned inconsistencies with the social media monitoring.
Okay.
Like not capturing all the messages or delays in data syncing.
Okay.
Others had problems with certain features not working as promised.
So it sounds like reliability might be a bit
of a mixed bag.
Yeah, it's a good reminder to really read those reviews.
Both the good.
Both good and bad.
And the bad.
Yeah.
Before you make a decision.
Exactly.
Okay.
And it's important to remember that XERXES isn't the only option out there.
Oh.
There are other apps.
Other apps that do similar things.
That offer similar monitoring capabilities.
Ooh, competition.
Yeah.
I like it. What are some of the alternatives?
So if you're looking for alternatives, apps like SPY24, Emobix,
Mobix, Springers, Spybubble, Funcy.
Okay.
These all offer similar features.
Okay.
But they each have their own strengths and weaknesses.
So it really depends on what you're looking for.
Exactly. It comes down to your individual needs and priorities.
So a smorgasbord of choices.
It is a smorgasbord.
But before we move on, we need to address the elephant in the room.
The legality.
The legality of all of this.
Yeah.
I mean, monitoring someone's device is a pretty...
It's a sensitive topic.
Sensitive topic, to say the least. So legally speaking, where does XERXES stand?
So here's where things get interesting.
Okay.
XERXES as a tool is perfectly legal.
Okay.
The catch is...
how you use it.
How it's used.
Okay, so it's not a free pass to just spy on anyone you want?
No, it's not.
So what are the legal boundaries here?
So it really boils down to consent and ownership.
Okay.
If you're monitoring your underage children, you're in the clear. Monitoring employees on company-owned devices is also legal.
Okay.
But you have to have their consent.
You have to be upfront about it.
You absolutely do.
Okay, so transparency is key.
Transparency is key.
So where does it cross the line into illegal territory?
Using XERXES to monitor anyone without their knowledge or consent is a big no-no.
Like who?
That includes spouses, partners.
Okay.
Anyone else you might be tempted to spy on.
Right.
Doing that can have serious legal consequences.
Okay, a word of caution there.
A word of caution indeed.
And to make things even more complicated, laws regarding monitoring software vary from country to country.
They do.
So it's important to...
do your homework.
Yeah.
Understand the local regulations.
Okay, so we've unpacked a lot about XERXES already.
We have.
Its features both good and bad.
The good, the bad, and the ugly.
User experience.
The legal landscape.
The legal landscape.
That's a lot to take in.
But this is just the tip of the iceberg. So stay tuned for part 2 of our deep dive, where we'll delve even deeper into the heart of this powerful and at times controversial monitoring app.
Can't wait.
Me neither. This is fascinating.
It is fascinating.
Okay, we'll be right back.
After the break. Okay, so let's shift gears a little bit.
Okay.
And talk about how XERXES actually works.
Yeah.
You know, it gathers all this information, but it does it so discreetly.
Yeah, no trench coats or hidden cameras.
No, exactly.
So how does it stay under the radar?
It's designed to be practically invisible.
Okay.
No obvious app icon.
Okay.
No pop-up notifications.
So nothing to tip off the user?
Nothing at all.
That they're being
watched.
Watched, okay.
It just operates silently in the background.
Like a ghost in the machine.
Exactly.
Okay. That's pretty stealthy.
It is.
But if it's so hidden, how does it actually collect and transmit all that data?
So XERXES is constantly logging the device's activity.
Okay.
And whenever the device connects to the internet,
okay,
whether it's through Wi-Fi or mobile data, XERXES uploads its findings to its cloud servers.
So it's like a little digital spy.
It is.
Sending secret messages back to headquarters.
That's a good way to put it.
Whenever it gets a chance.
Yeah.
And then the user, whether it's a parent or employer,
right,
they can log into their XERXES dashboard and see everything.
See everything.
From anywhere.
From anywhere with an internet connection.
So it's like having a virtual window.
It is.
Into that phone.
That's a great way to think about it.
Or tablet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Powerful stuff.
Yeah, powerful stuff. But all this data transmission must have some impact on the device, right?
It does.
Battery life.
Battery life.
Data usage.
Data usage.
Things like that.
You're absolutely right.
Okay.
The more frequently XERXES uploads information, the more battery and data it's going to use.
Okay.
But the good news is you have some control over this.
Oh, okay.
You can customize how XERXES operates.
So you can balance your monitoring needs with the impact on the device.
That's right.
Okay, tell me more about that.
So you can choose which data gets uploaded, how often location updates are sent.
Okay.
You can even set specific time periods for monitoring.
Okay.
So, for example, you might decide to only upload video files when connected to Wi-Fi.
Okay, to save on?
To conserve mobile data.
Mobile data, yeah. Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
So there's some flexibility there.
There is.
To fine-tune things. Okay.
You're not just stuck with one setting.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Now, I know we talked about social media monitoring earlier.
We did.
But I want to dig a little deeper.
Okay.
Like exactly which platforms can XERXES track?
So we're talking all the big names.
Okay.
Facebook.
Yeah.
Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, WhatsApp, Viber, Telegram.
Wow, the whole shebang.
The whole shebang.
Okay, and all this is happening.
Without the user knowing.
Without the user knowing. They're being watched.
That's right.
Wow. Okay, so even on those platforms that have disappearing messages or photos?
XERXES can still capture it. Wow. It takes frequent screenshots.
Oh, wow.
So even if that content vanishes.
From the user's perspective.
Right.
It's still saved somewhere.
It's still captured and stored for later viewing.
It really makes you think about the permanence of
our digital footprint.
Digital footprint, yeah.
Yeah.
Are there any social media platforms that XERXES can't access?
Well, there are limits, of course.
Yep.
Some platforms have incredibly tight security.
Yeah.
Which can be tough to crack.
Okay. And I imagine.
And the level of access can also depend on.
I don't know what.
Whether the device is Android or iOS.
Oh, okay.
And whether it's been rooted or jailbroken.
Right, right. Those rooting and jailbreaking requirements.
Yeah, they come back into play.
Yeah.
It seems like to really get the most out of XERXES. You need to have some tech savvy.
A little tech savvy, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to another key feature.
Okay.
Location tracking.
Location tracking.
How accurate is it?
It's highly accurate.
Okay.
It can provide real-time updates.
So you can see exactly where the device is.
Exactly. You can see it moving on a map.
On a map. Wow.
Plus, you have that history of where it's been.
Okay, so for a parent who's worried about their child's safety or an employer verifying an employee's location.
Right.
That's pretty valuable information.
It is.
And you mentioned something called geofencing earlier?
Yes.
Remind me what that is.
So with geofencing, you're not just tracking location.
Okay.
You can actually draw virtual boundaries on a map.
Okay.
And set up alerts.
If the device
enters or leaves those areas.
So it's like setting a digital perimeter?
Exactly, like a digital fence.
Okay. So you could set a geofence around your child's school and get an alert if they leave during school hours.
That's right.
Or an employer could use it to monitor
movement in and out of a work site.
Movement in and out of a work site.
You got it.
Okay.
The applications are pretty diverse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so now let's talk about a feature that tends to spark a lot of debate.
This is a big one.
Keylogging.
Keylogging.
This one raises some eyebrows.
It does.
In terms of privacy concerns.
Understandably so.
Yeah, so keylogging is basically capturing
every keystroke.
Every keystroke on the device.
Every single one.
Okay, so that includes
passwords.
Passwords.
Credit card numbers.
Wow.
Private messages.
So everything someone types is recorded and accessible
to the person monitoring.
That's a lot of power.
It is a lot of power.
And it could be misused.
Absolutely.
Easily. But XERXES markets this as a safety feature, right?
They do.
To detect potentially harmful behavior.
Like cyberbullying.
Cyberbullying.
Signs of suicidal thoughts.
Okay.
Things like that. But ultimately, it's up to the user to decide how they use this feature.
And to make sure they're not crossing any ethical or
legal lines.
Legal lines, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so a lot of responsibility.
A lot of responsibility.
Comes with that level of access.
It does.
And speaking of potentially sensitive information, XERXES can also monitor calls, right?
It can.
Okay, so what does that mean?
It logs all incoming and outgoing calls.
Okay.
Gives you timestamps, contact names.
Okay.
Call duration.
Okay.
And it can even record the calls.
Wait, you can actually listen to the conversations?
You can.
That seems like it could.
It can definitely.
Yeah, veer into some legally murky territory.
You're right to be cautious.
Yeah.
Recording someone's calls without their consent is illegal in many places.
Okay.
So you have to be very careful.
So it's important to know the laws.
You know the laws.
In your jurisdiction.
And to use this feature responsibly and legally.
Responsibly and legally.
Yes.
Okay. Another reminder to tread carefully.
Tread carefully.
Okay. We've talked a lot about what XERXES can do.
We have.
But what about its limitations?
Okay.
What are some things it can't do?
Well, one thing it can't do is intervene.
What do you mean?
So it doesn't have any real-time intervention tools.
Okay.
You can't remotely lock the device.
Okay.
You can't shut it down.
Okay.
You can't take any direct action.
Even if you see something concerning.
Right. You can see what's happening.
But you can't do anything about it.
But you can't actually stop it.
Okay.
You'd have to contact the user directly.
Or take other steps?
Yeah.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah.
What about content filtering?
Okay.
We talked about blocking websites, but are there any options to block
categories of content?
Yeah, like violent games or...
And so, unfortunately, the content filtering is quite basic.
Okay.
You can block individual websites.
Okay.
But it can't automatically filter categories of content.
So if you're hoping to completely shield a child from inappropriate content...
XERXES might not be the best option.
Okay.
It's not foolproof.
Okay. What else?
Another thing it can't do is manage screen time.
Okay.
Or app usage.
Right. We talked about that before.
We did.
You can see how much time is being spent.
You can see it.
But you can't set limits.
But you can't set limits.
Okay, so if screen time is a major concern...
Yeah, for parents or employers, XERXES might fall short. And then there are the technical challenges.
Right.
Rooting and jailbreaking.
Rooting and jailbreaking, which can be...
a hurdle for some people.
It's not exactly plug and play.
No, it's not.
Okay, so we've really gone through the ins and outs of XERXES, its capabilities and limitations.
It's a powerful tool.
It is.
But it's not without its drawbacks.
Right.
But I think it's time to kind of zoom out a little bit.
Okay.
And think about the bigger picture.
Okay.
Where does XERXES fit into this whole conversation?
Yeah.
About privacy and security.
Right, because we're living in an increasingly digital world.
We are.
And this seems like a
growing trend.
Yeah, this blurring of the lines between safety and privacy.
You've put it perfectly.
It's a tough one.
It is.
We have these incredibly powerful tools at our fingertips, but using them responsibly
requires careful consideration.
Requires careful consideration.
Ethical implications.
Ethical and legal implications.
Legal implications.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's complicated.
Yeah.
It's not just about what these tools can do.
Right.
It's about what they should do.
Exactly. And that leads us to a crucial point.
Which is?
Informed decision-making.
Yes.
Before you even consider using an app like XERXES.
Or any app. Like
yeah.
It's crucial to do your research.
Yeah.
weigh the pros and cons.
Understand the risks.
Understand the risks.
And the consequences.
The potential consequences.
Yeah.
Because it's like any powerful tool,
right.
you need to know how to use it.
Safely and responsibly.
Responsibly. And there's no one-size-fits-all solution here.
Right. What works for one person
might not work for another.
Yeah, exactly.
Different needs.
Different situations.
Different circumstances.
So thorough research, thoughtful consideration, those are paramount.
They are essential.
Okay, so this whole deep dive into XERXES has been quite a journey.
It has.
It's clear this app can be a valuable tool for protection.
It can.
But it also poses a potential threat to privacy.
It's a double-edged sword.
It is a double-edged sword, yeah. And the decision to use such a tool
should not be taken lightly.
Should not be taken lightly. It demands careful thought, a clear understanding of the implications, and a commitment to using it responsibly.
Responsibly.
And ethically.
Ethically.
Okay.
Our lives are becoming more and more intertwined with technology.
They are.
And these conversations are only going to become more important.
More and more important, yeah.
We need to be having these discussions.
Absolutely, and that's what we're all about here on The Deep Dive.
That's right.
Helping you navigate these complex issues. Make informed decisions about the technology that shapes your world.
Exactly.
Thanks for joining us on this exploration of XERXES.
It's been a pleasure.
Okay.
Until next time.
Keep diving deep.
Keep diving deep.
Okay, so let's get back to those other monitoring apps out there.
Yeah, the alternatives.
Yeah, because we spent a lot of time on XERXES.
Right.
But it's not the only option.
No, it's not.
We mentioned a few competitors earlier.
We did.
But let's give them a little more attention.
Yeah, let's put them in the spotlight.
Spotlight, yeah.
Because each one has its own kind of flavor.
Okay.
SPY24, for example.
SPY24, yeah.
It's really known for its parental control features.
So they go a little bit beyond what XERXES offers.
Yeah, they offer more customization.
Okay.
More control for parents.
So if you're a parent and you're looking for more fine-grained control.
Yeah, over app usage, screen time.
Content filtering.
Content filtering, all that.
SPY24 might be?
Might be the way to go.
The way to go. Okay.
Yeah.
What about some of the other ones?
Okay, so if ease of use is a priority for you.
Yeah.
Mobix.
Mobix, okay.
They get high marks for that.
For being easy to use.
Yeah, very user-friendly interface.
Okay.
Straightforward installation process.
So if you're not a tech expert.
Yeah, if you're not super tech savvy.
Mobix might be.
Your Mobix could be a good fit.
Good fit. Okay.
Yeah.
User-friendly is always a plus.
Always.
But we can't forget about social media monitoring.
Oh, that's a big one.
Yeah. Are there any standouts in that area?
Yeah. Spinger's often praised for that.
Spinger, okay.
Yeah. They've got really robust social media monitoring.
Okay.
They even capture deleted messages on certain platforms.
Wow. Okay, so if you're really concerned.
If your main concern is social media.
Social media, yeah.
Spinger might be the one to look at.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's interesting how these different apps.
Right.
Kind of prioritize.
They each have their own focus.
Certain features.
Yeah, and it shows you how diverse people's needs are.
Yeah.
And their priorities.
Okay, but it's not just about.
Right.
The features of the app itself.
No.
The company behind it matters too.
The company matters a lot.
Yeah, I mean, a fancy app is useless.
Right.
If the company is shady or unreliable.
Yeah, you want to make sure the company is reputable.
Exactly. So let's talk about XERXES, the company.
Okay, XERXES, the company.
What's their track record like?
Well, they've been around for a while.
Okay.
Over a decade.
That's pretty impressive.
It is impressive in the tech world.
Yeah, things change so quickly.
They do.
Yeah.
But it hasn't all been smooth sailing.
What do you mean?
Well, remember those data breaches we talked about?
Oh, yeah?
Back in 2015 and 2018?
Yeah, not a good look.
Not a good look.
For a company that's supposed to be protecting data.
It does make you question.
Yeah, how seriously do they take user privacy?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, and have there been any other criticisms?
Well, there's been some criticisms of their marketing.
Okay.
In the past.
Like what?
Well, early on, they really pushed XERXES as a tool to catch cheating spouses.
Oh.
Which a lot of people thought was ethically questionable.
Yeah, a little bit of a gray area.
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
Now they focus more on parental control.
And employee monitoring.
And employee monitoring.
But some people still remember.
That early reputation.
Yeah.
As a spyware app.
It's hard to shake a reputation.
It is hard.
Once it's out there.
Once it's out there.
Okay, what about customer support?
Okay, so their website says they have 247 support.
Okay.
But when you look at user reviews,
yeah,
it's a bit of a mixed bag.
Okay.
Some people say they're great.
Okay.
Very helpful.
Okay.
Others complain about long wait times.
Okay.
Unhelpful responses.
So it sounds like the quality of their support.
It's a bit inconsistent.
Yeah, that's definitely something to consider.
It is something to keep in mind.
Okay, so we've really explored XERXES from top to bottom.
I think we've covered it all.
Features good and bad.
The alternatives.
The alternatives, the company itself.
Yeah, the whole package.
The whole package.
We've unpacked it.
Okay, time to zoom out and reflect.
Okay.
What are the key takeaways here?
Well, I think one of the biggest takeaways is that
Yeah.
XERXES really shows us this trend.
This blurring of the lines.
This blurring of the lines between security and privacy.
In our digital lives.
In our digital lives. And it's happening more and more.
Yeah, and these tools.
They're powerful.
They're powerful, but they can be misused.
They can be.
So we have to use them responsibly.
We have to think about the ethical implications.
The ethical implications.
The legal implications.
Yeah, it's not just about what they can do.
It's about what they should do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So informed decision-making is crucial here.
Absolutely.
Before you even think about using any of these apps,
Do your research.
XERXES, or any of the alternatives,
Weigh the pros and cons.
understand the risks.
Understand the risks.
And consequences.
The potential consequences.
I mean, it's like with any powerful tool,
Mhm.
you need to know how to use it
Safely.
responsibly. And there's no one right answer for everyone.
Right.
What works for one person
Might not work for another.
might be completely wrong for someone else.
So thorough research.
Yes,
Thoughtful consideration.
essential.
Essential. Okay, this deep dive into XERXES
It's been a journey.
has been quite a journey, and it's clear that this app,
Yeah,
it can be a valuable tool for protection,
it can.
but it also poses a potential threat to privacy.
It's a double-edged sword.
It is a double-edged sword,
Mm.
and the decision to use it
Should not be taken lightly.
should not be taken lightly. It demands careful thought, understanding of the implications,
Yes.
and a commitment to using it responsibly and ethically.
Couldn't said it better myself.
Well, thanks for joining us on this exploration of XERXES.
Thanks for having me. It's been great having you here to break it all down.
It's been fun.
And as always, keep diving deep, everyone.
Keep diving.